Welcome to Fractions Module 5, Lesson 3, solving up to 3-step word problems involving 4 operations. Basically, we've covered everything about fractions. And one more thing, we don't use calculators for this one. In this particular lesson, you'll be dealing with a lot of 2-step, 3-step word problems. I know word problems scare the daylights out of most of us, but really, if you learn how to tackle it well, you'll realize that it is the simplest thing to do. We have got 2 objectives for this lesson. One is to figure out how to do 3-step word problems involving whole numbers and fractions, and the other one is to draw models to help work out the word problem. So you got to get comfortable with models. And if for some reason if you have difficulty with this topic, then you've got to look at the other videos in fractions and refresh your mind. So let's get into it. All right. Question 1: 3/4 of a Sara Lee cake was divided equally among Michelle, Ramesh and Fariz. Michelle cut the cake into 6 equal pieces and then decided to have one for herself. Ramesh ate 3 pieces and Fariz ate the remainder. What fraction of the whole cake did Fariz eat? Okay, students, I would encourage you to read the question at least once or twice more. And now let's move on to step 1. Step 1. The first thing to do is to identify what the question is asking for. Here we are to find Fariz's portion of the cake written as the fraction. Let's identify that. Now step 2. Note that the answer has to be based on the whole cake and not the 3/4 of the cake that Michelle cut. This is a common error, so watch out for it. Step 3. Let's set it up. 3/4 of the cake was cut. 3/4 of the cake was cut. So let's just draw the whole cake, which has 4 quarters, right? So Michelle cut 3/4 of it. Now let's draw one more model. She cut 3/4 of this cake into 6 equal pieces. So she basically split 1/4 of a cake into 2 pieces. Am I right? Now step 4. 3/4 of the cake was cut into 6 equal units. Michelle had 1. Michelle had 1. Michelle is in red. Michelle had 1. Write that down. You might find it tedious to write down everything, but believe me, it really makes a difference. Okay? Ramesh had 3. Ramesh had 3 pieces. So R equals to 3. R for Ramesh equals to 3. And Fariz had 2 pieces. Okay? 2 pieces. Fariz, F equals to 2. So step 5. Now we can see that Fariz's portion is 2 units out of a total 8 units. Why do I say 8? The last quarter, which is an uncut quarter, could be cut into 2 pieces. Because Michelle cut each quarter into 2 pieces. So cut the last one even though it was not used. So now you get a total of 8 units. So Fariz ate 2 out of 8 units. Right? 2 out of 8. So what is your final answer? Simplify that and you get 1/4. And that is your final answer. We've done this real quick. Well done. Question 2. There were 3 boys who lived in Bukit Panjang named David, Paul, and Peter. Paul is 2/3 heavier than Peter. David is 4/5 as heavy as Paul. Express David's weight as a fraction of Peter's weight in its simplest form. Now I know my students are geniuses, but I've heard from many parents that this gives them nightmares. Read one sentence at a time and you realize that this comes to you quite easily. Now step 1. Again, let's identify what the question is asking for. We need to find David's weight over Peter's weight written as a fraction. Now, step 2. Let's look at Paul and Peter first. Paul is 2/3 heavier than Peter. So Peter equals to 1. Peter equals to 1 and Paul is 2/3 heavier. So it's plus 2 over 3. Do the maths, what do you get? You get 2 over 3 plus 1 can be converted into 3 over 3. Plus 2 over 3 equals to 5 over 3. Now let's draw the models. Okay, Peter, as we said, is 1, which is 3 units, right? 3 units. Peter is 3 units. Now we know Paul is 5 units, right? 3 over 3 and 5 over 3. Always look at the numerator. Okay, now you got Peter and Paul. Now let's read the question again. David is 4/5 as heavy as Paul. Now you tell me how is the model for David looking? It's 4 squares. Okay, so David is 4 squares. Now once you do that, we now move to write that as a ratio. Okay, we know Peter weighs 3 units, Paul weighs 5 units. Now we know David is 4 units. So Peter is to Paul is to David. What do you get? Peter is 3, Paul is 5, and David is 4. Now, what's the question? Express David's weight as a fraction of Peter's weight. So it's going to be David over Peter. David over Peter equals to, look at the ratio, David is 4, Peter is 3, 4 over 3, which is the correct answer. Simplest form could be a mixed fraction, is a mixed fraction. Simplify and you get 1 and 1 over third, and that is your final answer. Well done. Let's move on. Question 3. Kesha used 1/3 of her money to buy 2 dresses and 3/8 of the remaining money to buy some skirts. The cost of a dress is twice as much as a skirt. How many skirts did she buy? This requires some thinking process. Read the question carefully. Draw your models well. Step 1. Identify what the question is asking for. How many skirts did Kesha buy? That's what we are looking for. So step 2, let's set it up. Kesha spent 1/3 of her money on dresses. Okay, draw a big box, divide it equally, and let's shade 1/3. Now that equals to 2 dresses. She used 1/3 of her money to buy 2 dresses. Step 3, she spent the 3/8 of the remaining money on skirts. Okay, the empty boxes there. Okay, let's divide them into 8 small equal boxes, and let's shade 3 of them. Does that make sense to you? 3/8 of the remaining boxes. Now to help you with your calculation, wouldn't it also make sense to break the first box into 4 equal pieces? See, now that gives you a common denominator, and it makes your life in calculating all these answers real easy. Okay, now step 4. From the model that you have drawn, you can see that 2 dresses equals to 4 units. 2 dresses equals to 4 units. Therefore, 1 dress equals to 2 units. We're getting there. We're almost there. Step 5. The cost of a dress is twice as much as a skirt. So we can say that 1 dress equals to 2 skirts. 1 dress equals to 2 skirts, which means 1 dress equals to 2 units. So 2 units equals to 2 skirts. Therefore, 1 unit equals to 1 skirt. And we know that Kesha used 3 units to buy skirts. This means that 3 units equals to 3 skirts. And we can conclude that Kesha bought 3 skirts, and that, my students, and I'm happy to tell you that it's your final answer. Okay, students, we've come to the end of Lesson 3, Fractions, Module 5. Go ahead and attempt the quiz right after this. It is important that you do so. When you are referring to the notes, you'll realize that there's one additional example that I've done. Go through it. If you have any questions about it, send me an email and I'll have the video done up for you as well. I would love to keep all my videos within 10 minutes so that you are done with the videos fast, you do the quiz, and you go out there and you play some football or go have dinner with your parents and have fun with them. That is the biggest reason why I keep everything that I do pretty short. Okay, so take care of yourself, go attempt the quiz, and go score.